Everybody's talking about the new AI features in Go High Level, but I think almost everyone is missing the biggest update they quietly released. And no, it's not AI agents, it's not Ask AI, it's not Vibe Coder. In fact, it's something way bigger because this isn't just another AI feature, it's a complete shift in how Go High Level works. Once you understand this, you'll build faster, automate more, and honestly, you'll start wondering how you ever use the platform without it. I've never made a video on this before because it literally just came out, and I can almost guarantee most people watching this have no idea it even exists. So let me show you exactly what it is, and more importantly, how you can start using it before everyone else catches on. The crazy part is completely free, and I'm gonna show you right here. The bot we're gonna be creating in this video is gonna be one for HVAC companies, but the cool thing with Go High Level is all these bots can be used for a multitude of areas that you want to sell. So let's dive into this, and I'm starting from a fresh account so you can actually follow along step by step. And as always, I will be giving you guys this script as well if you want to use it to create your own sales bot. So what we're going to do first is we're going to click on AI agents on this left bar, then conversation AI. Once we click on conversation AI, we're going to click create bot, prompt based bot, and then start from scratch. From this point, now we need to name this bot. So we'll just go with Steven. We'll set this bot for autopilot. And then here for the supported communication channels, with this kind of comes down to either if you're building it for yourself or building it for a customer, which way are the prospects speaking to you guys? I work with a lot of folks, they're doing Instagram and Facebook, but also a lot of folks are doing just text, right? So in this case, I'll just choose just text message. So we'll knock these out. There we go. Next is the business name. So for this, let's just call it Houston HVAC. What I like to do for wait time between responses is about 5 seconds. We'll do about 25 messages just so that the bot isn't constantly having conversations over and over with someone else's bot, right? So we'll just do 25 messages. I'm perfectly fine with letting the bot respond to images, right? So in this case, we're doing a demo with an HVAC client here in Houston. So let's just say someone's like, they send a picture of a leaking pipe, right? Basically, the AI will be able to look at that and interpret it and give a message. Same with a voice note, which I see a lot. One thing that we do internally is we always send the bot to sleep if someone sends a manual message. We always tell our clients that if you want to stop the bot's responses, like if you're looking at it and you're like, okay, I can help this person now, let me just jump in here. When they send a text or a Facebook DM or an Instagram, whatever it is, basically at that point, the AI will completely stop. And then I turn off the reactivation for the bot as well. And then next, we're gonna click save. After we click save, we're gonna go to bot goals. So for this bot goals, you have personality, goal, and additional information, right? So at this point, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to ChatGPT because I've kind of already spun this up, and I'm gonna give you guys this prompt as well. But with this prompt, I'm simply gonna just copy it. And towards the end of this as well, guys, I'm gonna show y'all how to edit this prompt for literally any niche you have. We're gonna go ahead and paste this for the goal, and then for the conversation and additional information. And the goal of this bot is to get people to go to HoustonHVAC.com, which is my client site in this demo. So at this point, right, I can go ahead and click save on this bot and I can actually test it. We'll test it here shortly. But one thing I want to mention is you do have other actions you can set up. Now, whether you're doing this for yourself or for a client, these are all important in their individual pieces, right? So for an HVAC client or an electrician or a plumber, anyone, right? Anyone that's having customers reaching out to them for a service or a product, it's always good to get the contact information, right? To capture contact info. Let's just say I want to book an appointment, right? For my HVAC client. You can also do the same thing with scheduling appointments. So we will have future videos on each of these individual topics. But for this, I just want to make a mention of that. When you were setting this up, just think about what the goal is of this conversation. If the goal is just to send a link to HoustonHVAC.com, cool, you're good there. But even with that, I can actually trigger a workflow, right? So I could say something along the lines of, hey, once you send the link to HoustonHVAC.com, trigger this workflow, which can do a multitude of things. It can alert a team member, it can send a coupon code, it can give the person a call with voice AI, whatever it is to confirm. There's so many things you can set up as far as triggering a workflow on that front. But like I said, we'll be covering that on future videos. So let's go ahead and once again, make sure that it's saved. And now we can can actually test this bot, right? So I could say something along the lines of, I have no air. So the bot said, I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Is your system completely off, or is it running and not blowing any air at all? Like I say, the system is on and blowing hot air. Thanks for letting me know. Is this a home or commercial property? Home. Got it. Thanks. When was the last time your HVAC system was cleaned or serviced? Hasn't been in the last 3 years I've lived here. And then one thing you'll see is sometimes I put in typos just to make sure the bot can actually interpret everything. Thanks for sharing. What's your zip code? So I'll put in a zip code. So perfect. So based on what you described and the time since your last service, an HVAC cleaning would be a good first step to help remove buildup. You can purchase the cleaning service here. So for this example, what I did was I had it for HoustonHVAC.com. Now, with I am an HVAC company or one of our clients, what I would actually push for is the appointment booking, right? I would try to get something on a calendar so that a service technician can actually go to that location, right? Or even doing something where I actually just trigger a workflow. Let's just say, for example, someone has a payment that has to be made before the service technician goes out, right? I can trigger a workflow to send the invoice for this service, right? I could say, hey, if it's an HVAC cleaning, trigger this workflow. If it's a unit replacement, trigger this workflow, so on and so forth on that front. But in the sense of this was a successful test. This is now a bot that I can easily deploy in my client or in my own business, right? So let's go over here, right? Back to bot settings. So now the way this is set up is every single text that comes into this account would trigger the bot, right? So not all the times do you want to trigger the bot on every single text that comes in. Maybe sometimes you get family members that text your business line or your client's business line, whatever it may be. The other way of doing this to make sure that this doesn't become a problem is you can actually go into automations, create a workflow from scratch. And in this workflow, what you could actually say is customer applied HVAC, right? Let's say you're running an ad and the trigger word is HVAC, right? So what I could do is for the trigger, I'm gonna make that customer replied. I'm gonna click add filter. And what I'm gonna say is reply channels, what I'm looking for. Cool. SMS, go ahead and save that. I'm gonna click add filter. And what we're looking for so what we're looking for is where it says message body contains, and then let's put the word HVAC, right? And then click enter. So at this point, it says message body contains HVAC. And at this point, I'm just gonna simply click save. So this workflow is now gonna trigger when the word HVAC is said in that text, right? So let's just say, like I said, like an ad or a billboard or whatever it is, will trigger this workflow. And then I'll put AI, we're looking for update conversation AI bot. We're gonna say Steven, move Steven to active, right? At this point, basically the customer would say HVAC, the automation turns on the AI bot Steven. And then at that point, because this is SMS that we're using, I can have Steven send the first message. Hey, thank you for reaching out to Houston HVAC. How can I help you? Then you would move it to publish and click save. So at this point, you would now have a working automation. When someone says HVAC, it turns on the bot. From there, the bot is technically going to send the first message. Once the first message is sent and the person responds, then from there, the AI would have that full conversation, right? You can leave this bot. You could actually turn it off, right? So that it doesn't respond to every single text. And at this point, it only responds to the people that you want it to respond to. So with this, of course, you can always take this stuff a lot further, but for the simple intent of having an AI bot in your business that you can implement and work on within, let's say 15 minutes, this is a great strategy to use. Now, like I mentioned earlier, is if you want to edit this, now how does this piece work, right? So you will get this prompt. I'll make sure it's below this video. And what you'll be able to do is actually just copy the full thing, go into ChatGPT and say, I need to edit this prompt for my business, Devon's Electronics, based in Toronto. My website is Devon Electric, right? So from there, and then just put whatever else you have, right? You can put your phone numbers in here. You can put your different services you offer, like whatever it is, but basically put that in here. And then, actually, I probably should put an offer. My offer is selling computer cleaning. All right. paste that prompt right below it, and then just let ChatGPT do all the work. So at this point, you would now have a fully built prompt that works for your business. Just paste in the personality, the goal, and then from conversation flow below, that's all going to go in the additional information. And then from there, test the bot, go through it all, implement that workflow, and now you have a bot built for your business within 15 minutes. All right, so that is it for this video. I will see you guys on the next one.